Good evening. Welcome to the Malden Board of Appeals. Today is June 21st, 2023. The Malden Board of Appeal will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, June 21st, 2023 at 6:30 p.m. at Malden City Hall, 215 Pleasant Street, room 106, the Herbert L. Jackson Council Chambers, Malden, Mass. On the following named petitions. First, before we open the meeting, I want to, we have to say roll call vote, but we do have, oh no, we're good with the regular board. There was an alternate member that's out, so we'll do a roll call vote for.
Okay. Kramer?
Here.
Froyo?
Here.
Sherwin?
Here.
King?
Here.
Logan?
Here.
Codevarian?
Yes.
Okay. Absent is Susan Chu. Thank you.
Old and new business, all we have is the approval of the minutes from the May 17th, 2023 meeting. Did everybody have a chance to review those minutes? Would anybody like to make a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved. Second.
Oh, there you go.
Second by Sherwin.
Yep.
Okay. On motion by King, second by Sherwin to approve the minutes of May 17th, 2023. Froyo?
Yes.
Thank you. Sherwin?
Yes.
King?
Yes.
Logan?
Yes.
Kramer?
Yes.
All in favor, minutes are approved. Thank you.
Thank you. So we will get right into this. We're going to start tonight with petition 23-005 by Elsie Alexandre seeking a variance under code of the City of Malden as amended. Title 12, Section 12.16.010, Table of Intensity Regulations, dwelling single family, specifically side yard, setback permitted construction of an addition, and Title 12, Section 12.16.070, yard requirements for all district per plans RES 055444-2023 at the property known as and numbered 21 Alden Street, Malden, Mass. And known by City Assessor's Parcel ID 100445509. Yep, come right up. Okay. For the petitioner too. Hello, can you just sign that sheet in front of you and then state your name and address and then let us know about your project.
My name is Elsie Alexandre. I live at 21 Alden Street in Malden. The reason why we're here is we just want to do the add-in because we don't have any place to gather with the family. We only have places for dining room, dining table. So since when they did the renovation, that's all they did. So we have no place to gather with the family. That's the reason why.
Okay. So you're looking, so you have, currently you have a wood deck and you're looking to just expand that to a living area.
Yes, yes.
Is there a reason why you're not adding to the side of the house where the driveway currently is? Does it have to be in the back for any reason?
It will be connected to the dining room and then where the kitchen is at. And with financial hardship now, it will cost us more money to use where the driveway is. It will be cheaper for us to do that. So I don't think we'll have the money to use the hardware side to do it.
And I didn't go into it, so I don't know if there's any changes been made. But when you bought the house,
Yes.
the first floor is all open from front to back, the kitchen's the back.
I think they take the living room, they made it a room.
Well,
So they make it for a 4-bedroom when we bought it. So whatever living area that is there, it's mostly the dining room, it's with the kitchen.
But the first floor is open from front to back, right?
Yes, yes.
You put up a wall, is that what you've done?
Our son live in that room there. The easiest way would have been to open that room, which one of our kids live in there.
Which room?
The first floor room. There's a bedroom on the first floor.
Okay, and if you walk down to the kitchen on the right, on your plan, you've got a blank space. Right there, what's that?
It's like a small corridor. The bathroom is there.
They didn't show a bathroom, there's a bathroom there?
Yes,
That's the
it's
space.
on the right-hand side.
And the basement's finished?
The basement? There's a basement.
So maybe this is the bedroom? That's the bedroom or the bathroom?
I don't know. I mean, there's no bathroom shown there.
Yeah, the main bathroom is downstairs, where the kitchen area is and where the dining room is. That's where the main.
Okay, so here, this is your plan,
Okay.
all right? You can come up,
Okay.
take a look, just so that I know what's going on. Here's my big plan. Oh, my big plan. Wait a minute. Maybe even I can see it then, without my glasses. Okay. This room. What's that? This is the kitchen. There's a door here. That- This all is a bathroom?
You guys have a room here.
There's a room and a bathroom, and then there's a common area where we have the dining area.
Yeah.
This is a bathroom and your son's room?
Yes, you got my son's room here in the front.
The front right here. You see this picture here? That's the bathroom island and looks like a bedroom in the front there.
So, is that the bedroom on the first floor?
Yes, when you enter the house. there's the bathroom.
Well, that's the back of the house. But you've got, this is the front of the house here. It goes all the way down to the kitchen. You can see the kitchen back down there.
I think that this is you on the second floor.
That's the first floor.
John, can you just move your
The-
microphone up so people can hear what both sides are saying? Just so, there you go, so both people can.
I think so they show you the stairs here, and you go from the stairs, that's my daughter room, because this going to the roof.
Let's go into the second floor.
Yes,
The stairs to the second floor.
yes.
There's another bedroom here that's in this open area?
This is a bedroom.
This one is a bedroom upstairs.
Oh, upstairs, I'm just talking about downstairs, right here.
This is not downstairs.
You walk in the front door, right? There's the stairs there. To the right of the stairs,
That's it, but that's a
Yeah, right here. That's a bedroom, right next to the front door. So they play, like, they use this view to make it seem really big, but this is just that room right there. It's a little dining room between the bedroom and the bathroom.
okay.
So it may make it look like it's a huge living, just that one picture.
Realtors wouldn't do that.
No, they would never do it.
And then what are you doing with the basement? I mean, that's just,
Sorry?
basement is storage, it's all finished.
Yes, okay.
Tile floor. Okay. All right. And like my colleague said, I mean, it's possible for you to do what you want without needing a variance. I mean, that's a big issue.
He's saying there's other spaces around your house, but you're saying the cost of a new driveway, which I had a $10,000 quote for a driveway this size, so they're saying to put an addition here would be more expensive.
Well, it's gotta be more expensive probably. I mean, that's probably the cheapest way would be that way, but I mean, it would require a variance. Okay, you can go back.
Thank you.
Pictures.
Thanks
Thank
for your
you.
help.
Okay.
John, are you saying off the right-hand side of the house towards the driveway where the rear entrance, where the
I mean, even if they.
doghouse is to get into the
I
basement?
mean, even if they move that over, cut an size of the addition on the left side of the house. You know, without even wrapping it around, you could do that. And they could get the setback they require. They'd probably have to move that basement egress.
Which means
$10,000.
yeah,
It's more than $10,000.
that's cutting into the foundation and getting a new basement.
Well,
That's a
just to
big.
do-
That's big.
It's big, but it's not.
Yeah.
All that's possible.
Is there a deck on there? Is there a deck in that area now?
Yes.
Yes,
So you're enclosing the deck essentially?
Yes.
yes. And then you got the double doors to go to the deck.
Okay, is the addition any bigger than the space of the deck already? Of the existing deck?
Not bigger than that.
Just the deck we got, just, you know, the decks. Like, and the engineer said we already have the.
Sorry, could you speak in, I can't really hear you.
Just the deck, just the size of the deck.
Size of the deck.
Are you replacing the deck or is that deck gonna stay as is?
No,
So you're just enclosing it essentially?
Yes.
Okay.
So you won't have a deck after you do the addition. You won't want to build a new deck off the back of the addition.
we would love to. Maybe we have to get a permit for that.
That's what he was asking.
Yeah.
No, I was asking if the deck is staying as is.
Oh, okay.
right? So I think it is.
So they're not increasing the nonconformity. Any other questions or comments from the board on this?
Not from me. I'm curious if any neighbors are here to talk and weigh in a little bit.
I think someone's raising their hand.
Yeah, is there anybody here that would like to speak in favor of this?
I have a couple questions. I am a neighbor.
I'm sorry, you can come up to the podium and sign your name and just state your name and address. Yep, so it's open to the public now, so you folks can sit down and we're gonna hear from other people here.
So question is, or there's a couple. Is it staying a single family that there's no tenants or anything else involved? The other question is, now my understanding, because it said building up an addition to the side of the house, but now it sounds like it's to the back of the house. If they enclose that, won't they need another stairway as an exit?
I think.
There's one on the plan.
Are they usually existing stairway?
And are they
No.
talking about now adding another addition in place of that, another deck in place of that? Because when that deck was built, it was oversized, it's over the legal thing, because we were here for a hearing about that.
The whole house is.
I'm sorry?
The whole house is non-conforming because of the distance from the side yard. So this addition is not increasing the non-conformity, they're just enclosing an area
Okay.
that's already there. And then they do have a small landing outside of that addition in order to have a rear access. One of the questions we asked was, or that I asked was, will you be looking to build a deck off the rear down the road? And they said potentially.
Right,
That would require another variance.
because where's that gonna go if they're already exceeding space, is my question.
Can
And
you-
is it staying a single family? Like, are there tenants involved or anything else?
I don't think that's relevant to this hearing. We're not changing the use of the property, but can you just let us know, are you a direct abutter or where you live in proximity to
My
this?
family owns the house right next door and the one next to that.
Which numbered house?
29 and 25?
So if you're facing the petitioner's house, it's on the right?
No, if you're
On the
facing
left.
that house,
Okay,
to the left,
Okay.
yeah, to the left.
okay. Okay, so were we able to answer your questions?
And then I guess, so parking won't be, the parking lot, the driveway will stay the same then?
According to the plans, yep. Okay, is there we got some clarification, is there anyone else that would like to speak in favor of this project? Not seeing anyone. Is there anyone that would like to speak in opposition of this project? Again, not seeing anybody. Okay, well, we're going to close the public portion of this and discuss amongst the board. And if anybody else has any.
I mean, it sounds like they're enclosed on a deck. Nothing's changing on the setbacks.
No. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've approved similar situations with maybe smaller lots, but the same idea goes, I think it applies to this, that it's no more non-conforming than the current plan, so that's kind of what I've seen from evidence. John's still thinking, I think.
Me?
Yeah?
No, I'm not.
No?
I know what I have to do. I mean, it's just, when we do, if you do approve things like this, the problem is that there's an alternative that can be done, and it may be more expensive, but I mean, cost isn't our issue necessarily. I mean, it's zoning is our issue. That sounds maybe cruel, but I mean, that's the fact of it. And now, just based on their testimony, they're talking about maybe come back, and now they're gonna want another variance to extend the house, back even further.
The deck, if they wanted to add a deck in the future.
Yeah, but that was, what their intention, it sounds like, from what they said to us right now. So, I mean, that's kind of what happened. I mean, at least if, that point, if we were to make this conform, this addition, which is possible, you end up not needing, and putting a deck on later, that deck would not require a variance if they put it along like that. So that would be my only issue. Is that cool enough?
No, I think if it weren't for the basement access, you could definitely justify shifting that 10 feet from the property line, but because of the basement access, I think it does make it a bit financially difficult. You maybe wouldn't have to move the driveway at all. I think no one spoke in opposition, so I'm inclined to make a motion if everyone is done contemplating the. All right, I'd like to make a motion to approve this based on it being no more non-conforming than the current existing house and deck.
I'll second that.
Motion by Bilgan, second by Sherwin to approve this petition due to it does not increase the nonconformity of the building. So the vote goes to Foyer.
Yes.
Thank you. Sherwin.
Yes.
King.
No.
Bilgan.
Yes.
Kramer.
Yes.
Okay, a vote of 4-1, motion has passed. The petition 23-005 has been approved.
You're welcome. Okay, the next petition was tabled for May 17th, 2023. Petition 23-003 by DiPrete Engineering acting as agent for the Parikh Network to submit application for the potential development of property seeking variances under Code of the City of Malden as amended Title 12, Section 12.12.06D, fast food service off-street parking in the required setback of lot in Title 12, Section 12.20.1010, Table of Off-Street Parking and Loading Regulations, Restaurant Fast Food, required number of parking spaces as per Plans CMID-050466-2022 at the property known as in numbered 1100 Main Street, Malden, Mass., and also known by City Assessor's Parcel ID 044-855-507. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. My name is Liam Floyd. I represent the Parikh Network, and with me here is Mary Ann Diffin from the DiPrete.
Can you move the mic a little
Yeah,
closer?
sorry. Yeah. Mary Ann Diffin from the DiPrete Engineering, who will make a more formal presentation. Last month we were here to table it, and there were some objections raised. We have submitted subsequently a slightly revised plan in an attempt to address some of those objections. We have shrunk the floor plan of the proposed building by over 500 square feet, and as a result, one of the variances is a setback variance. It was on the Main Street side and on the Island Drive side. The Island Drive side, we no longer need that because of the shrinking, because we've reconfigured it. And because of the smaller square footage, the regulations ordinarily would require 50 parking spaces. We have put into the plan 20 parking spaces. As we said last time, I believe that the standard for Popeyes generally is one space for every 2 seats. We're only going to have, I think, 8 seats in this entire restaurant. It's going to be predominantly a drive-through. And as such, we've also accommodated a very, very long drive-through in order to make sure that we don't have any spillover onto Main Street. And as you have requested, we have produced some photos and some other studies showing other area Popeyes, which have, even at peak times, they do not have, a long line on the drive-through. There's no overflow, and in fact, there's very rarely more than a handful of cars parked at the restaurants. And we've had some other exhibits to show you. So, in short, the property itself is a long rectangle. It's it's narrow, so you have a lot of frontage, meaning a lot of setback on the front, and no matter how small we make the structure, it's still, the idea of putting 50 parking spaces in there, you quite literally wouldn't be able to build anything on that spot if you had 50 parking spaces. So the number of parking spaces we're proposing is well in excess of what our history thinks, will show that we need. Ultimately, as we've set forth, this will be, it's an unusually shaped parcel. Not unusual, but it is very long and skinny, necessitating those setback variances. And without the variances, it just wouldn't be, it'd be economically impractical to put any kind of, to put a restaurant in there. We wouldn't be able to do it. And then finally, as where the place is, it is on a main street, and it is a business commercial zoned area. Right now, it's frankly, a disused garage with a parking, with just completely permeable, impermeable surface. And as we're going to present to you, we're going to be improving that tremendously with lots and lots of plantings. We're very, we're very concerned about how our buildings look, and so they spent a lot of time on the design, which you're going to see, and they spent a lot, and we're going to putting in quite a lot of plantings. It's going to be very green. So I'll let Ms. Tiffin take over from there, unless you have questions right now, but I'll be back if you have any follow-up.
I have just a quick question. I'm looking at your plan. It says that, if I'm reading this correctly, is it saying that there's 49 parking spaces already at the property?
No, I don't believe it does.
Because I'm looking at
Unless-
requested relief. It says existing.
Oh, yeah, that's what it, I'll let Ms., I'll let Ms. Tiffin answer that question. I have it, because she has it on the big thing.
I think they need 50.
I don't want to speak out of turn.
They need 50.
I'm seeing existing 49. Am I reading that right?
So in the automotive shop?
What's there now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've driven by there, I don't think I've seen 49 spaces.
Yeah.
Nose to nose.
What's that?
How come nose to nose?
Hope this works. Well, it looks like it did.
Hi folks, I'm Marianne Diffin. I'm an assistant project manager with DiPrete Engineering, and I'll take you through the civil engineering portion of the project. You're correct. Right now it is an existing auto repair shop. With
Can you speak into the mic, please?
Sure. Right now it is an existing auto repair shop with roughly 49 parking spaces. It was actually previously a former gas station. You can kind of see that there is a pump island there. I believe there are some underground storage tanks that have been since removed. And a little bit of contamination on the site from those storage tanks that we are currently investigating further. The site is located down the hill and across the street from Pine Banks Park. It's pretty close to the Melrose town line, and it's about 1,000 feet south of the, I think it's the Pine Banks Fields. Currently, as you can see in the photos, the site is currently 97% impervious. It's basically just a giant parking lot. That's how they fit the 49 spaces there currently. The site is currently being serviced by a leaching cesspool for the auto repair portion of the site, and then also a septic system. And there's currently no water quality treatment for stormwater existing on the site today. I'm sorry, I missed one item. I did want to point out too, the existing parking spaces, if you look, there's a blue line that's representing the property line. You can see that there's actually some encroachment onto the Main Street right-of-way with the existing parking lot today. I feel like that's probably a pretty important point to make. All right. I hope it's big enough for you. I might make that a little bigger. There we go. All right, so what we are proposing is a 2,000 square foot, it's actually a 12-seat Popeyes restaurant with a drive-through. The drive-through is actually 200 feet long, which is over double what the requirement for the city is. Again, we were trying to address the concerns of the city regarding, spillover onto Main Street. So that drive-through will actually be able to accommodate at least 10 cars, if not more. We are also providing 20 parking spaces, as Liam said previously. The brand standard for Popeyes is 1 parking space per 2 seats. And there's usually like 6 or 7 employees there, so you'll see that really the parking need for the restaurant is more like 19 spaces rather than the 50. I don't know that 50 people could fit inside of the Popeyes restaurant. And you'll see that on the site, you're going to see quite a bit of green. One of the things we tried to emphasize with this reduced footprint was an addition in landscaping. We're actually taking the landscaping from the 97% impervious, meaning only 3% vegetation on the site, and we're going to bump that up to 40% vegetation on the site. In addition to that, I do want to show you our landscaping plan. We're actually going to be adding 11 street trees to the property, adding some street trees along Main Street, which will help with some of that heat island effect you might feel as you're walking by. And we're also going to be providing a stockade fence on the plan north and the plan east with evergreen plantings, which should get to be about 6 or 7 feet tall, which are going to provide some kind of vegetative and physical buffer for both your neighbors to the right and the condo or apartment complex to the north there. You'll see that the parking, we've tried to kind of face it towards the roads to minimize, nuisance to any neighbors. The parking to the south is really going to be facing Pine Hill Banks. I believe there's a little bit of concern with that, but if you actually look or walk by the site, you'll see that Pine Hill Banks is really a big hill with a retaining wall. So any headlights really should just hit the retaining wall on the hill and not spill over into the park. The existing road there is also already lighted, so that should also mitigate the effect of any sort of, headlights. And you'll see also that in peeling back the existing parking lot, we're able to reduce the number of parking spaces from what's there today, the 49 spaces. We're actually able to provide landscape buffers both to the south and over to the plan west there. I believe the landscape buffer to the left is actually about 40 feet of green space plantings, and we have a varying width to the south of between 4 and 20 feet of landscape buffer where there just frankly isn't any today. In addition to this, we're going to be taking out the leaching cesspool from the existing auto body shop. We will also be taking out the septic system as well, and one of the stipulations that we spoke to with the town engineers was to actually sewer the site. So the site will be going to the town's wastewater treatment facility. And then finally, we will also be providing stormwater quality for the site, which we will address at the planning board hearing if you get our variances and we're able to move forward. I think that was everything we wanted to cover here. I think there's also a little bit of concern just about the use for Popeyes. You kind of hear horror stories about cars backing up and there not being enough parking. But we actually went out and did some research at a few different Popeyes throughout Massachusetts that were pretty comparable in size. And you'll see that the parking demand was actually only up to, I think, 14 spaces at the biggest site. And for the parking queue, I think the average queue is about 5, if not 7 cars in the parking queue for the drive-through. Like I said, we're going to have 10 parking space stack, so we should be able to meet that demand. And then also we're going to have 20 parking spaces, which should cover even the most demand that the 4,000, almost 5,000 square foot Popeyes needed. So I believe that we'll be covering the needs for both the drive-through and for the parking. Yep, I think that's it. If I can answer any questions regarding the design. Oh, I should point out, sorry, we have some renderings too, with some of what.
So that's a rendering showing, what we expected, what it will look like at that angle. Again, lots of greenery, trees on all around. So it's not going to, to the extent that there's a concern about the setback, it's certainly going to be less intrusive than the current use now. It's going to, any cars parked there are going to be further away from Main Street, and they'll be obscured by greenery and shade. And again, it's not going to be very many cars, as we've demonstrated by comparison to the other ones. And I did forget, I did want to read into the record.
Sorry, can you just read into the mic, there you go.
Yeah, sorry. I did want to read into the record an email from Councilor Barbara Murphy, who couldn't be here today. She had, and I know she sent it to all you folks, but I'm going to read it in. To the members of the Board of Appeal, this is from Barbara Murphy, Ward 5 City Councilor. It has come to my attention that as part of the Popeyes proposal, they proposed an easement that would allow the Pine Banks Animal Hospital to connect to the sewer system. Pine Banks Animal Hospital is one of the only, if not the only, Malden business to still operate on a septic system. This limitation is preventing the hospital from building a state-of-the-art facility that would address the ongoing health needs of our animal population. Also, it is my understanding that the developer has scaled back the size of the building to better meet the zoning regulations and has provided data on their other local restaurants to show what the actual parking requirements are for a fast food restaurant. I would appreciate it if the members of the Board of Appeals would consider this additional benefit and information in their decision-making process this evening. Thank you for your consideration. And what she's referring to is we are planning the septic line, or rather the sewer line ends at our site. So we were going to give an easement to continue it to the animal hospital as part of the whole project.
I'm wondering if you can just explain the process at the planning board. If you did get approval, what exactly are you going in front of them for? Is it a special permit or use permit?
I don't think we have a, I mean, I think we're just getting a building permit. We have a, I'm sorry, strike that. There's a special permit because it's a drive-through. Right, so we have to go through, we're going to be going through that process for the fast food drive-through, which we'll be presenting more detailed drawings of the drive-through and measurements and that sort of thing. And presumably there'll be a lot of questions about that from the planning board, and hopefully we can address all those concerns.
Thank you.
Anybody from the board have any more questions of the petitioner? No? Okay. Should open this up to public comment. So if anybody is here that would like to speak in favor of this, you can come up now.
These are all in favor.
Okay. So we did receive some.
With 7 letters, we received 7 letters in favor. There was one that was just read from Barbara Murphy by Mr. Lee, Mr. Floyd. So I don't think we need to go through that one
Nope.
again.
And then I'll do it, and then I'll pass it.
Don't read this right now.
Okay. Good evening, members of the planning board. This is from Jadine Sika. I apologize for not being able to attend this meeting in person, but would once again like to go on the record in support of this variance. The parcel is currently zoned in highway business. Since the meeting last month, Popeyes has revised their plans by decreasing the size of the building, which will reduce the number of parking spaces needed and no longer requires a variance for the setbacks and dimensional controls. As a ward councilor who also has many fast food restaurants located in their ward, I cannot see Popeyes needing more than 20 spaces for their establishment to operate successfully with minimal impact on the surrounding neighborhood, and I hope that you will grant this variance this evening. The next one is from Donna Lombardi. We really should have their addresses on these. Some of them have them, but I'm not sure. I don't know, I'm not sure where this, I'm writing in support of Popeye's Restaurant on Main Street. It will be great to have the site cleaned up and a place to stop for a quick bite on that side of town. Thank you, Donna Lombardi. The next one is from Dino Summers, 36 Gilbert Street in Malden. I'm a Ward 5 resident, and I'm in support of Popeye's fast food restaurant on Main Street across from Pine Banks Park. Thank you. The next one is from Gina Spadafora. Again, no address. I'm just assuming that these are all residents. My family and I are in support of having Popeyes across from Pine Banks. Gina Spadafora. The next one is from Brian McDonough, Ward 5. I'm a longtime Malden resident. I also wanted to express my support of the proposed Popeyes on Main Street. I believe it's a great location with minimum impact to local traffic. Thank you. And the next one is from Kevin Exelholm, 219 Salem Street, Malden. My name is Kevin. I won't mess up his last name again, and my friends and I are looking forward to having a Popeyes in Malden. I'm in favor of the Popeyes in Malden. So that's the one we already read. Okay, nobody else wants to speak in favor, so at this point, if there's anyone that would like, based on the new plans, or the revised plans, if anybody would still like to speak as opposed to this project, now would be the time.
Thank you, members of the planning board. My name is Ryan O'Malley. I'm the Ward 4 City Councilor, 215 Pleasant Street. The establishment is in Ward 4, and one of the things that I have heard from a number of residents, and one of the things that is still true, is that even though it was slightly revised, as the applicant has said, the setbacks are still in violation of our ordinances, and the parking spaces are still in violation, 50 versus 20. We heard that there's only going to be 8 seats inside, and it's primarily going to be a drive-through. The main concern that abutters have indicated, and these are abutters that are persons of interest and do have standing, are that we potentially are allowing a drive-through in the setback area directly next to residences. And the lack of indoor seating and parking, particularly in the yard setbacks, is going to push people out into a surrounding neighborhood. Eat their food, throw it out the window. These are all concerns of allowing less parking spaces, as well as allowing a drive-through in the setback. So I respectfully ask that you do not grant the variances because it does not comply with any of the 4 conditions you're legally required to find. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, please. For the record, I believe the setback issues have been resolved. This is only for a number of parking spaces at this point. There's only one. Oh, got shut off. The revised plans.
Yep.
The setback issues have been resolved. The only variance that the petitioner is seeking is for parking.
Okay. For the record, I'm Leanne Russell. I live at 3 Furlong Street, Malden, Mass. All in all, I probably lived there about 30 years. So I appreciate the new plans that have been presented, but the real concern is frankly safety and the location of this drive-through restaurant. The safety of the pedestrians, the cyclists, the motorists. This is an active corridor. Again, we failed to mention the 664 residential units that abut this. We're talking about a 300-foot space, which is less than a football field. So 664 residential units, 7 businesses that already exist in this space. It's a very active space. People pushing baby carriages, walking dogs, like I said, cyclists, people going to the park. And as someone who's been in this space for over 30 years, I can tell you the 25-mile-per-hour speed limit is rarely met, and there are more accidents than there should already be in this space. To bring a drive-through restaurant to this location it's not the right location. With the cars turning in and out, it's too much activity for this street in the residential area. I know Bobby's here tonight. He's worked on my car for years. He's a good friend. I want him to be able to sell his property and retire well, but not at the expense of the neighborhood and the safety of the residents in my neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else in opposition? Just state your name and write it down. There should be a log right there, your name and address too.
Hi, my name's Stephen Hayes. I live on at 12 Fairlawn Street, right across from Leanne. And I just wanted to say, I know you all heard me last time, and a lot of us, so thank you for giving me a moment here. I just wanted to say that the new pictures look, you know, looks fine and everything with the trees and all that, but, you know, I don't think trees are going to stop a car from speeding out of the drive-through and hitting a kid. And there are a lot of kids in that area. So I just agree that with Leanne that it's just not safe with the traffic there and the pedestrian activity with people coming off the orange line and being at the park, and all the residents in the condos that really engulf that whole property. So, you know, I have a young child and a dog, and I'm over in that area several times daily. And as it is, it's pretty hectic now. And I think adding a drive-through restaurant like this will just make the area more dangerous for the residents and the visitors in the area. And I think it should also be considered traffic. That area of Malden, basically, it's impossible to get anywhere starting around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So talking around dinner time, adding slowing cars, automobiles that'll be slowing everything down at the drive-through. It'll make a already spotty situation more dangerous, and already slowing and congested situation slower and more difficult. So I just ask that you consider that and consider your neighbors that live in the area. Thank you.
Thank you. Would anybody else like to speak in opposition? Oh, come on up.
Good evening.
Good morning. Could you just
I'm very happy to meet you all, but I respectfully request, and this is a wonderful idea that I have a good neighborhood, but this is not the right place. And we live on number 4, I put it down, number 4 Fairlawn Street.
Thank you.
And next door to us, they are rebuilding the rehab homes, and we've been going out of our mind for the last 3 years, and God knows how long. And on top of that, I think if all of you have a little hut in your place, and you cannot, impossible to take a nap in the afternoon, and sometimes they even show up on Saturday, but this, I'm not comparing this and that, and the traffic has been ridiculous. And we can come home, sometimes we can even enter our house, they park in front of our house, and if you're bringing another bunch of people and who do not belong in the neighborhood, and why do you have to suffer for that? We are paying our taxes, we are working hard, and we're trying to be good neighbors. And all of us are very grateful to be in a place, we are very happy, and we enjoy living in Malden. And this is something, we don't look forward to it. And I understand life goes on. And this gentleman has to give up his garage, and we've been grateful to him, he helped us. But we do respectfully request, and just have a heart and think for a moment. And it's really, really not the right place. And I'm sure in Malden there are many places, and these people who are willing to open a restaurant, yes, they mean well. We need good places to go and eat. but not some people to come and at 2 o'clock of night, sometimes we jump up from the bed and, motorcycles, especially the summertime, we dread it. And God only knows how many horrible accidents we have witnessed right in front of our house, any odd hours. And it can happen anywhere, but knowingly we do not invite more problems than we can really hope for. Things can go wrong anywhere, but I really appreciate that you are giving us an opportunity. But please think for a moment and how difficult it is people for like us. And to take a nap in the afternoon, we can, and now it looks like these people will be coming here any odd hours of night, and we jump up in the bed and can't sleep. And next day, most people go to work. And please, and each one of you, if you just stop for think for a moment, and we'll be very, very grateful, and thank you very much for the opportunity you have given us. But don't just ignore us, and we respectfully request. You all have a job to do, but I think we can look back our records. We've been living in Malden more than 40 years, and Denise Russell in all our life, and people like us, we worked hard, and we want to get some rest. And if you are inviting these people who do not belong in this neighborhood and upset our peace, and I really request, it's not right. And I thank you very much, and I'm going to put my name. My husband and I, we live on 4 Fairlawn Street, and we are very happy in Malden, but not looking forward to this. Bad enough we are going through what we are going through last 3-4 years, and God knows when that will end, and if you're inviting on top of that, and it's going to be plain, simple, miserable. And we inviting this restaurant, you'll be inviting more misery to all of us. And I request, please have a thought and give some kind consideration. Thank you. God bless you all. Have a good summer. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Very nice to meet you all. Thank you.
You as well. Is there anyone else that would like to speak in opposition of this project? Sure.
My name is Charlene Johnson, and I live at 13 Fairlawn Street.
Okay. And could you also, yep, there you go.
I'm just going to write my name down. I too have lived in the neighborhood for a long time. And again, it's more for the traffic that I'm concerned about. I mean, I think it's nice that lots of people, I think you have 7 letters from people who are in favor of it, but they don't even live in our ward. I mean, just because someone wants Popeyes doesn't mean that they have to put up with the misery that we have to. The restaurant itself, they seem to think that it fits like a carbon copy of every single Popeyes that there is. I mean, how do you know how many people will be in a drive-through? How many people do we know will park? So, you know, you could have like an active night where you might have like 40 cars lined up for you know, Popeye's meal. Have you ever been to the Wendy's in Malden on Highland Avenue? Like at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, it gets pretty bad. I mean, like everybody's in the line. So that's basically what I'm talking about. That, you know, they just seem to think that there's a crystal ball that they'll have X number of employees who will have cars, X number of people who will be in the line. You just don't know that. So basically it's that, traffic, people when they come down Main Street, if they can't wait at the light, here they come right down Fairlawn onto Autumn Street. You know, quite a lot of speeds. In fact, tonight, just driving over here, we had someone trying to beat the light on Winter and almost hit us as we came along Fairlawn Street. So that's basically what it is. I mean, I don't think anybody is posing anything for someone, but it's just mainly for what it is. So thank you for listening.
Thank you. And I saw one more back there. Come on up. Good evening. Just, yep, fill that, sign out that log there and then state your name and address. Oh.
How's it going tonight?
Good.
Sorry, I'm a little late. I serve on the UMA board as treasurer, so I'm just coming from that board meeting into here. My name is Brian Boswell. I live at 25 Whipple Street up on Waits Mount. I've lived there since 2006, I think. I have 15-year-old triplets that have all spent all of their years at Malden Public Schools, going from Linden on into the high school this past year, and they're all doing very well. I love our city. We have a fantastic city, and I want to see it stay that way. And I'm opposed to Popeyes going in. I don't think they should be given a variance. The regulations exist for a reason. It's a beautiful area that it's going to be going into. You have a beautiful park over there. There's going to be light pollution, additional traffic. I think everybody's made all the points, and I just wanted to add my voice to those voices. I gotta sign the thing, right?
Yep.
All right, am I missing anything? Is there anything else to...
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. Well, thank you very much for your time tonight.
Thank you. Okay, was there anyone else that would like to speak opposed? Okay, so at this point, we're going to close the comment.
I do want to clarify something. Couple points. The variance for the parking in the setback, we still need that for the frontage on Main Street. We just don't need it for the side on Island. So there's still those two, but two variances yet reduced. The other thing is what we have now, we do have a formal traffic study. Now, I didn't present it because it's technically part of the package for the other thing, but I want to present it now.
Yeah, last month I did ask for a parking, just assuming that you would have had some
This
sort of parking study for other locations, but yeah, I never.
Right, well, we had a parking study, we presented parking studies from other locations.
Yeah.
And what we have here is more germane in that it is a traffic study, which encompasses some of those.
Which I don't think really is relevant to this board.
Well, I would just like to point out the traffic study, two things, and if I could present it to the board, because it has, first, on the site at that intersection, the intersection being the side street and the park and the entrance to the park, there's been no crashes on that site for 5 years. And the study indicates that even at peak time during weekday, the new trips down the street that will be caused by the Popeyes is going to be about 38 new trips. In other words, there's lots of cars going by, but people going as a location.
Meaning 38 more cars would be in
38
the
more
area.
cars midday,
Yeah.
23 at night, and then on Saturday peak, it would be 50. So that would be at the most 50 new trips for Saturday.
And what's the daily traffic count on that? Do you have that?
I'm sorry, say again?
The daily traffic count on that street?
It's the daily traffic count is, it's in here somewhere. The daily traffic count would be 150.
No,
Is that per hour?
that might be per hour.
Yeah.
There should be thousands.
Yeah, it's broken
Yeah.
down, it's broken down by hour
Okay.
and new trips. Let me just see if it's referenced in there. I don't remember seeing that. But I can submit this particular study, because it does have that table of trip generation, which would indicate that the number of parking spaces that one would need, obviously, would not be overburdening.
I don't think, I mean, oh, we have it. We already have it.
Yeah, it's the McMahon parking study? Oh, very good, thank you. I apologize. But, yeah, those are the two things I wanted to clear up, and that we still need the frontage setback variance, as well as the parking variance.
Okay, thank you. Any more questions or concerns from the board on this petition? Does that mean somebody's ready to make a motion?
I guess that the only familiar case that we've had, or similar case, was the storage, is it on
Eastern Ave.
Eastern Avenue? Where it was slightly different because there were definitely fewer cars going, proving they didn't need the parking spaces, but this, they actually have proof that they will have more cars, they just don't sit idle in a parking space, so I'm not sure what people are thinking. If the city wanted to have zoning regulations that was different for a restaurant versus drive-through, they would probably have that by now.
Right. And from what I understand, they don't have the approval for the drive-through yet. That's not us, that's a different board.
Right.
I mean, I'm not convinced they have hardship. I think it's a pretty big space. I'm not convinced that, but for these variances, there's no other use for it. It's a good sized spot, a good area. I think another project could go in here that wouldn't require the variances. I just don't think they've shown that. So with that in mind, I'll make a motion to deny both variances.
I'd second that. I mean, I've looked at, 6 of their sites around Boston. And most of them are not situated like that, in my opinion. I mean, they're outlying on a shopping center that has a lot of additional parking. The one even in Everett, is kind of combined with a Dunkin' Donuts and has a lot of parking behind it. I mean, I don't know if it's theirs, but there's a lot of space behind that. This would be a bit confining, and a concern would be, again, when we do a variance, it's forever. And if heaven forbid the restaurant doesn't succeed, I mean, that's not what I'm wishing on anybody starting a business, but it's, we've now granted a variance that's substantially less parking than the city would require. I mean, we're looking at less than half of what they think for that type of business, which would mean another business could go in there without a variance that might generate more traffic that would need more parking. And then, now that's a whole other issue that we can't cure at that point, because we've already granted permit for a restaurant. So anyway, that was my second. It's long and convoluted, but.
Motion by Sharon, second by King to deny this petition. Sawyer?
No.
Sherwin?
Yes.
King?
Yes.
Bilgan?
Yes.
Rayner?
No. 3-2.
3-2, doesn't pass. So, on a vote of 3 to 2, does not pass, the plan, Board of Appeal needs a vote of 4 out of 5.
I mean, I don't know if this would change anything, but the way I see it, they could probably fit the required number of parking spaces. They just don't have the landscaping and the other features. So that's why I voted, because I know that it's possible to fit plenty more parking spaces. It's just not a nice project, but that's not really why we're here.
To the petitioner, you said there's only 8 seats in the proposed restaurant?
12.
12 seats. 2 seats per car.
12 seats, and as I said, and as we've demonstrated, typically two seats per car.
Okay.
And as you can see, there's almost never more than a handful of cars in these locations.
I mean, this, in my opinion, is not a large building. And I think almost any building that goes in there is gonna need the setback variance. And with the, you know, I think the requirement of 50 spaces is just, in my opinion, for a restaurant with 12 seats, this just doesn't make a lot of sense. That's why I voted no.
But somebody with 30 seats could, with the variance, could put in, you know, by reconfiguring the building. I mean,
So that
that's
means
one of
in the
concerns.
future, another restaurant could come in, literally pave the whole thing, create enough parking spots, and now it's just another, and it's even more traffic,
If we grant the variance.
if we grant the variance.
That's, you know, that's what I look at, is that, you know, again, the city has made the ordinances to design the city the way they wish to do it. And it may be that, I'm not disputing that they're saying that they can use, you know, they only get 2 people per car. I mean, I don't know if anybody, I personally don't go to Popeye, so I've never really, you know, seen the people there, but the fact is that once we say a restaurant could go in there, and a restaurant can go in there with less parking than the city wishes to have, and that's what's there forever. So, again, we've gone over before about, you know, if the city wants things to be easier, or the city wants to make changes, then we can follow their direction. But I mean, at this point, our decision has to be based on, you know, the conditions of the property, and not on the conditions of, Popeye says they only have 2 people per car. And they only have 12 seats. So therefore, they don't need.
I believe in exchange for the green space, they probably could squeeze in the spots.
That might bring up another variance if there's
Yeah,
requirements for green
yeah.
space and other things, but, or impervious.
And then start going into their setbacks that they just cured. So then they need another variance on top of what they already have.
Right.
I mean, the lot is just, you know, I think for a restaurant use is difficult.
Okay. Do we want to try it again?
Are we sure that we need 4 members to, either way? I mean, we don't have 4 members in favor, so it seemed to me that it shouldn't pass.
I'll show you the ordinance.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind if I could take a look at it.
3 to 2 doesn't happen very often.
I'm just trying to quickly get to the. It's under here, under G.
G.
Gotta get you out of that specific stuff.
So I actually think that's a quorum requirement. I think it's saying we have to have at least 4 members voting. I'm not sure if it means that we need 4 people in favor one way or another. I'll have to give a little thought to it. You guys can keep talking, I'm just gonna, I'm just gonna look over this for a little bit.
Because normally if someone votes in favor and we have 2 people, proposal and then second, and everyone else votes no, then it doesn't pass. Right?
But if it's the other way, it's 3 to 2, more people deny it than.
So then
granted,
someone
then
needs
it-
to say, I vote in favor, and then there'll be 3 denied, and then it wouldn't pass. Right?
So
If we
I
have
feel
only-
somebody needs to make a motion to
Correct.
approve.
That's right, and then if we
Yes.
don't have 4.
All right,
it
so here we
doesn't-
go.
So I need to make a motion to approve?
Yes.
The variances. So I make a motion to approve the variances.
You would have to second.
I second that.
Motion by Florio to approve with second by Kramer. We'll take a roll call. King?
No.
Bilgan?
No.
Sherwin?
No.
Florio?
Yes.
Kramer?
Yes.
Still on a 3 to 2, so does not pass.
Does not pass.
So I'm gonna make a motion. I actually motion that we table the matter. I think we need an opinion from the solicitor's office if we're doing this right. Because again, I'm confused about whether we really need a 4 out of 5. We could be here all night if we're just deadlocked like this. So there has to be someone out there. I think the solicitor, we need an opinion from the solicitor to tell us to check on that. You might be right, but I would be more comfortable getting an official opinion before we, we just kind of keep extending this.
So as it stands, it's denied, but you're saying we should table it to make sure that the way we went about doing that is the correct way.
Yeah, because I think I think you're saying that we need 4 out of 5 members to make a decision one way or another. I don't know if that's right or not. So I think the solicitor, it might be a good idea to just get the solicitor's opinion on that.
So you're gonna make a motion to table the whole petition?
I would say table to the next meeting, and we ask the solicitor's office to give us a formal opinion about about how the vote has to go.
Second that motion for tabling?
Second it.
On motion by Sherwin, second by Froyo, to table this petition till the next meeting, and is for the city solicitor to clarify the voting rules of the 4 to 5 vote. Okay. Vote King,
Yes.
Bilgan,
Yes.
Sherwin,
Yes.
Froyo,
Yes.
Kramer.
Yes.
Okay, this petition is now tabled. Our next available meeting would be July 19th, 2023.
Quick question, is that same time, same place?
Same back channel, yeah.
Thanks.
You need what? It's happened before, we've been, you know, I know exactly what you're saying, I just, yeah. Yeah. I think this is a quorum requirement, saying we need at least 4 people here. Oh, she did? All right. We can't be the only board that's had this issue, so that's fine. There must be an answer out there somewhere.
It's gotta be, yeah, just gotta be a majority.
That's why we don't know what to do. Would someone on the board like to make a motion to adjourn?
I will be happy to.
I'll second. You need a second?
Thank you. Motion to adjourn by Sherwin, second by Bilgan. King,
Yes.
Bilgan,
Yes.
Sherwin,
Yes.
Royer,
Yes.
Kramer.
Yes.
Thank you. We're adjourned at 7:52. And we will seek
Hope to see you all at the festival on Saturday.
No, I know, I get it. but-
Good night, everyone. See you.
We got 4 to 5 because you have to have 4 to 5. That's why we call it.
No, that's fine. But yeah, but if we're,